Okay, hello and welcome to Beauté Espace TV. I'm Ritu and I am pretty honored today and overjoyed to welcome two of India's top hairdressers. And one is, of course, Placid Braganza and the other one, Elton Steve Vessoaker. And welcome both of you. So glad to have you.
Thanks, Ritu.
So Placid is an internationally acclaimed award-winning hairstylist whose work continues to turn heads and grace the covers of leading magazines. He created Placid Salon in 2009, achieving recognition as well as creative stylist and later a Sebastian design artist for India. Under his leadership, Placid Salon won the Wella Trend Vision Color Trophy India and represented India at a global level in Barcelona. With over 22 years of experience, he works closely with the glamour industry, styling Bollywood icons for movies, events, and magazine covers. But for all his love of high fashion, Placid is most enthusiastic about education, both keeping himself up to date with the latest trends and techniques, as well as training and mentoring aspiring hairstylists. Once again, welcome, Placid. And
Thank
going
you.
on to Elton. Elton's success story is one for the books. That's interesting. The hair magician started his career 20 years ago amidst the four walls of his humble home in Bandra, and is now the brand, and is now the Wella Passionista, one of the part of the global community of top hairdressers. A new generation hairdresser who loves breaking barriers, Elton has an insatiable drive to constantly keep himself current and relevant in both technique and innovation with avidity. Besides touching the lives of people in the salon, Elton is also an educator of the arts and has spent years training young ambitious hairdressers, giving them lucrative knowledge about different hairstyling techniques. And as he loves to say, I love breaking stereotypes and encouraging people to be the best versions of themselves. That's awesome. So welcome again, both of you. And I would, start as I do with all my interviews to understand, why and how you guys became hairdressers and just the key milestones. You've got over 2 decades of experience, both of you. So we'd love to hear your key milestones.
Yeah, so I actually wanted to become a chef. And I think it was the admission process that got delayed, or I was too late to enter, something like that. And I said the next thing that I was keen on doing was hair. But honestly, I didn't think I'll be good at it. So I said, you know what, let me just enroll into an academy. And Nalini and Yasmin was the best. So, I enrolled into their academy. And yeah, it was no looking back. And I never did anything ever after that. So it was only this. So yeah, I got lucky.
Oh, so, it was our gain, the loss that happened to one industry's loss is another's gain. Definitely. Yeah. Elton, please tell us.
Mine is so funny because I've always been on stage from a very young age. I was always singing, dancing. And as I got older in school, automatically, you have to take charge of the younger lot. So I was doing hair and makeup for the chotus. And I always had a flair for it. But never did I think that I'm going to make this a career. I took up science in college. I thought I'm going to become Yes, I did 3 years of science in college. And I thought I wanted to be a computer engineer. And I asked for like maths, physics, and stats and these subjects and rubbish. I couldn't do it. Then in senior college, after completing 1 year of senior college, I actually switched to arts. And I realized simultaneously I was doing hair for fun. But I realized I was the richest kid my age because I was charging everyone 100 rupees. But I had so much of pocket money that I realized I should do something that I like. That's making me money. And that's so much of fun.
Sure. Perfect. So definitely, Indian hairdressing has gained by that, decision of yours. And any couple of milestones you want to share, which were the inflection points where you realize that, okay, fine, for you, Placid, For instance, you realize that, okay, I want to be an entrepreneur, and balancing an entrepreneurship with a creative mind can be really tough. So just tell us when you realized that, and how have you balanced it so far, which you're doing so well at?
So, it was just like a natural progression of thoughts. I mean, natural progression of situations. So you work for a particular brand, and then, the next thing to do is to open up a salon.
Yeah.
So I honestly didn't think I'll come this far. I thought, if at all, one fine day, I'll just rent a chair eventually if it doesn't work out. But I wanted to build something on my own, and I wanted to have build something out of my own thoughts, like put my thoughts together and what I think hairdressing should be in terms of education and in terms of, what I want to give to my clients. So I think that was the stepping stone. And I said, I wanted to have like a small boutique salon, and that would do stuff that I believe in. So yeah, so that was it.
And you've been able to balance the creative and the...
It's tough, but I don't think it's impossible.
Sure.
It comes with its challenges. And yeah, I mean, at times it's difficult, but it's definitely doable.
Elton, what about you? What was your...
So that really, if you have to say a turning point, it's actually it's really cool, and I'm just humbled that I had these experiences a few years ago where people would come up to me. I think this is when social media started to become such an important part of everything. And you became so recognized, firstly, and also the response of people being so drawn to and thankful for the sort of, online information and education that I provide, that made me feel so responsible to really master my craft and keep people guessing and keep people wanting more. However, I'll say this, everyone's like, so when are you opening your own salon? And I'm just like, not anytime soon, only because for me, a big part of my craft is travel. I love to travel to just observe and look at trends and look at fashion around the world that I cannot, like, I feel like my creativity will be impacted. For me, I really can't. Like, I've always tried to find people to partner with who'll handle that aspect, because for me, I can't do math. So I can only do formulations with my color and angles with the haircuts. That's it.
Yes, absolutely. I think you should do what you're perfect at. And you're enriching so many lives already. So let's go to what you're doing now. You're going to doing a show. And tell us what Wella Kromatic is all about, and how is it different from the past trends that you guys have launched, and
I think Wella Kromatic is designed to inspire not only hairdressers, but also customers. So, Elton and I and the rest of the Passionistas have really worked hard to make sure that this collection is something that will not only inspire a hairdresser, but also a customer. That's one. Secondly, we've tried to use all the colors, all the formulas that we use on the salon floor, So we are literally sharing our favorites from every, so the collection has different categories of color. So there's copper, there's red, there's brown, and there's cool mocha. Okay, so so it has every single every single collection has our favorite formulas from what we use in the salon. So it's still it's a lot for hairdressers to take back and feel inspired. It's a lot for customers to look at and say, okay, I think I want this. And secondly, it's a great tool for hairdressers to use in their consultation process, because, every category of color fits into a customer personality, which is amazing. So you could use this tool and say that, okay, if this personality type is so, these are probably the colors. We are not dictating, but these are probably the colors that would suit this personality type. Yeah. So I think that's what Wella Kromatic.
And like I was part of the past 2 collections that we designed, which was the Illuminage and Lux Lights, which was so specific with regard to a technique, a specific technique of how to. It wasn't the color, it was a how to. This collection, Kromatic, it is so amazing because I can remember from the get-go when we decide, but before the name was even put into place, we wanted to create something for everyone. Everyone has a seat at the table. It's not just for people who like this or just for people, because right now you can't really decide the trends. Instagram and social media has made it so wide that you have punk rock and you have elegant chic and you have 735 different genres in between. You know what I'm saying? But there is a look and a style for everyone. So we've sort of tried to narrow that down to 4 looks, but within that, you know, we're just trying to get hairdressers to not just go to their, you know, tried and tested, but to use these sort of tricks and things that we like in the salon to up their game and give their clients something more current.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think COVID gave enough time to the customers to be online 24/7 and make your, you know, life more difficult once.
Yeah.
So then going a little bit further on the trends, you know, so balayage has been there forever. I'm sure it will continue to be there. But what else do you think? How are you interpreting the trends? You know, as you said, it's become like 730 others in between. So tell us about what, you know, specifics do you think, what cuts are going to be like, you know, a little bit more in demand and styling, or, you know.
The thing is, there will always be things that will rule the market. There will always be things that the big designers will pick up on. So like we're looking at lots of volume to the top, thinner ends, you know, softer fringes, things like that. Even with color, you know, lots of warm tones. We're moving slightly away from the ashy, but at the same time, there's so much of ash happening. It's, you know, it's such a difficult question because right now, a word that is resounding all around the world is inclusion.
That's true.
Everyone has to fit in. So it's to me, in the day and age we're living in, as soon as I say these are the trends, I'm already excluding certain people.
Correct.
So, you know, so right now it's a very difficult thing for me when clients ask me what is trending. My response is, how are you feeling? Let's find something that's suiting what you're feeling and what you're going through right now, as opposed to what's in trend, because that may not match with your energy right now. You know, so it's too vast. I think trends have changed over the years, and I think for the good. It's about time that everyone is included. No one needs to feel like they're the loser in the corner, because to be honest, that's a look. You know what I mean? Who doesn't want like a really geeky look? I do it sometimes. Everything's fashion. Like in the words of RuPaul, we're all born naked and the rest is drag. It's drag. You put on a new personality every time you want, you know?
Placid,
and I think with regards to trends, like, you know, in terms of color, they say balayage. In terms of haircut, they say, you know, like, I don't think we can pinpoint and say that this is the haircut or this is the color that is trending. I think it can be a part of, like, you know, when designing someone's look, we can pick from these trending traits and then design someone's look.
You know, like Placid rightly said right now, is if we say balayage is trending, and if we have 3 people walk into a well-established, educated salon and say, I want a balayage, the fact of the matter is, I can create the illusion of a balayage without doing a balayage. So I feel people need to not get stuck on names and tags as opposed to looks and feelings. You know, like more like I want more blended color, I want less streaky color, things like that. The name, so sometimes clients come, what do you want? I want a balayage. But that's not going to work only on her. You know what I mean?
And it also doesn't create any sort of personalization in terms of service. So if we have 10 of our customers all walking out with the same identical service, then it really doesn't, there is no personalization. Then it's not about going to a hairdresser. First it was about getting a haircut. Now it's about going to your hairstylist and getting your look right, or changing your look based on more about your personality than about what's trending.
Correct, absolutely. And so you both are in the the trendiest city in this country, because it's got Bollywood, it's got the Lakme Fashion Week and whatnot. So what do you think? But otherwise, when it comes to the high street, the Indian customer is really ready for the trends, or is it still my length should be this much? Please don't reduce my hair. That we've got these memes all the time. The length should go.
We've actually spoken about this.
Yeah.
Some time back. Yeah.
Tell me.
So Placid and me know each other for almost 20 years. Right. 20 years ago, no one wanted to cut their length. In 20 years, it's such a rare occurrence. It's such an amazing thing to say as Indian hairdressers, because we're constantly, in the past 20 years, besides the travel we've done as hairdressers, we've had lots of international people come. And for the initial 10 years, this was a constant. We couldn't find models. We couldn't do anything because people wanted to maintain that. It has changed, not slightly, it has changed drastically, at least in Mumbai. Right. So people with the shortest crops to the longest hair, it's a mix. I can't even say, tell you which is the majority, because it's such a huge mix.
Yeah. And it's difficult to judge. There's a little incident that happened yesterday, is that when we were shortlisting the models, and I looked at a particular model and she was the right model for short hair. And I said, I don't think I even want to go there and ask her, or, even start the conversation. I was just like, she's not going to do it. And, I said, okay, let me just give it a try. And she said, do you think it's going to look good? I said, it's going to look fabulous, because I knew that, that look is going to work on her. And she said, yeah, just do it.
Awesome.
And she's a model. So she probably could get more work with her long hair.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I think finally people in Bombay have realized is that hair grows. So just cut it, it will grow back.
Yes, that's the thing. When we launched Beauty Launchpad in 2012-13, I brought Vivian McKinder to do a couple of shows. And we were like, we went totally crazy to get good girls who wanted to cut their hair. It just was impossible to get them. Yeah. But lately, I'm trying to get a few more for our video, videos that we are trying to create. We're getting more and more youngsters. Yeah. Find whatever, so it's a good, fresh, refreshing change. Okay, so let's talk about Wella Passionista. How is your association with that, and what do you think is so great about it? Let's talk about that. Yeah,
it's about being associated with the best. If you don't have that in your mind, not doing the right thing.
And I think what he also means is associated with the best, as in associate with the best color company.
Best color.
The
as
best
a
color.
Person who has used everything.
Yeah.
20 years we've been doing this. We've tried everything. It's unmatchable. So if you're going to give me a title of Wella Passionista, for me, that is everything. You're saying that I am on top of every color in the world. And if a brand is making that product, and if a brand wants me to be involved in that product, that's the best thing in the world.
And we definitely want to be associated with something that we believe in.
Okay. Awesome.
For 20 years, there's one common factor with Wella besides good color: education. Right. It's always been education. It's about updating. Every year, they've taught us new skills, new sort of techniques, launched new products. So how do you say no to something like this?
And they have the vastest, I don't know if that's a word, the largest range.
The portfolio is tremendous.
Huge.
Okay. Fantastic. So before we wrap up, because I believe you have a show coming up and you're required there. So I would just like you to quickly comment on, what's your advice to youngsters coming into hairdressing, and since both of you are great big time trainers as well. So what's your advice to youngsters who want to maybe become platform artists or maybe even open their own salons? Just any 2-3 points you want to take up quickly.
I think it's definitely hard work, which is the very cliche thing to say, but it's about being consistent and about not letting any of that fame get to your head. I think what is lacking in the younger generation is that there is nothing over and above a customer. So I think that is something that, and also if you have that hunger for education and, you want to constantly grow, that's again something that you should have as a personality trait, like, someone who wants to learn.
So there's 3 things. The first thing is you need to get the best foundation education. Once you get that, don't be impatient. You can't expect things to happen in a year. You have to work really hard. You have to be at it. The second most important thing is to stay current. You have to constantly see what's in trend. Don't think that you've learned these 4 formulations and do it on everyone. No, you have to constantly make sure you're ahead of the game. Start to follow people on Instagram, follow people all around the world on Instagram to grab as much information as possible. And the third thing is to take what you've learned and put your stamp on it. You have to find a way to make everything be unique to you. You can't be a copy-paste artist. You have to leave your stamp on everything and go for it. You may fall and you may fail, but you have to try everything. Try it.
So what's your guess? Is Trend Vision returning this year?
It better. It should.
High time.
It's been one of the most amazing, unbiased competitions in the history of hairdressing in India. Like, I love the fact that
you are a true ambassador, I must say.
Huh? The thing is, you know what? I'm a very say it like I mean it kind of person, and I love if I'm sitting in the audience, and considering I've been doing this for a while, I think my judgment should be slightly on par with the judges. If the judges surprise me, then I'm really surprised.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much, both of you.
Thanks so much, Ritu. Thank you.
Bye.
We're going to run. Okay.
Okay, cool.
Thanks.
Bye.
Cool. Yeah. Bye. Bye.